So for somebody that doesn't know much about branding, how would you describe it to them? What's the purpose of branding? What is it?
Sure. Yeah, branding is a really slippery term, and it's the people who work in the branding space that make it so, and it's kind of our fault. So I think one issue is companies tend to converge on terms that sound cool, and so like what was once a marketing company became an advertising agency, and then advertising agencies started calling themselves digital agencies, and then started calling themselves branding companies. So there's this kind of convergence of language. So it sort of means a lot of different things. What we mean by branding is we develop the front end language and visual elements that make the foundation of your brand. And I think your brand can encompass everything from the employees you hire, the space you inhabit, the products or services that you create. Really, it's kind of all of the places, all of the touch points, and all the ways that you interact with your clients or your employees, really too. Those are all kind of, it's sort of like, I think of it sort of like culture. You know, culture is a word that we all use fluently and kind of get what it means, but when it comes down to defining it, every person's going to have a different definition of what you mean by culture, uh, because it's kind of complicated. So that's kind of how I see the brand. So like, for example, if someone hired us, we would deliver a brand manual, and the in it would be typefaces, logo. We do a fair amount of naming. It would be the foundational brand language that would be kind of like, um, a lot of times it's values, vision, those sorts of things, and photography style, colors. So that's the main offering. But then inevitably, and what we're finding more and more is we have clients who kind of like, okay, so now what? Especially we have clients who are kind of this mid-size organization where they have lots of ongoing design needs, but they don't that's not quite big enough to have a marketing department. And so we work in a creative capacity ongoing with several clients too. Um, and so it's kind of hard to decide where those stopping points are, but what kind of where we decide to stop is we don't do any media buying or public relations. Sometimes we'll design advertisements, but we don't place the ads. Um, so that's kind of a long way of saying it's hard to define exactly what the term is, because people in the industry, I think, make it kind of benefits companies that it's a little bit confusing, because it allows them to kind of do a lot of different things and sometimes not do any of them particularly well.